The most concerning loss today was the best team in baseball all season. The Phillies came into Atlanta and shut out the Braves. It was actually their first home shutout loss all season and their first since August of 2022. So do you think the Braves can turn this around and come back, or are you worried about the Braves losing to the Phillies?
Well, let's look at the big picture here, right? And I specifically with this series, and this holds true for all of them, all of the series going on now with the DS and the ALDS and the NLDS. But specifically with this one, I was saying if you're the Phillies, you got to do it again. Do exactly what you did last year. Go on the road where you're going to be underdogs and just find a way to win one of the two. If you can win one of those two games on the road and then take the series back home, all the momentum goes into your favor. And guess what? Since 2000, the road team that wins the first game of a series is 13 in a 5-game series now. Is 13-7 to win that series. That's 65%. And now we're not just talking, it's the lower seed, right? Like the higher seed is better. If that road team, who's theoretically the worst team, can win the first game of the series, it all shifts. 65% chance you win the series. And if it's game 2 you win, it's even a little bit higher. 68%, 15-7 since 2000. So win one of those two on the road, all the momentum shifts to you, and that's what the Phillies found a way to do again. They did it last year, the exact same situation. Game 1, they stole it, and we all know the series never even got back to Atlanta. The Braves lost that series in Philadelphia, and we all know the Phillies went on to win the NL pennant. So I am extremely worried about the Atlanta Braves. Do I think they can come back and win the series? Sure, of course they can. But now, all of a sudden, you're the 1 seed in the National League. You've had the best team in baseball the majority of the season, and all of a sudden, you're faced with these statistics that say the odds are you're going to lose this series now because you let a team steal one from your home. Now the odds are against you. I'm very worried about this Braves team. They did not look good. It's the first time getting shut out at home since 2022, August of 2022. And now the biggest game of the season so far for them. And guess what? They lay an egg at home, change their lineup all around. Austin Riley was hitting in a spot in the lineup he hadn't all year. I don't know what we saw from the Braves, but they got to figure it out. Now the Phillies are feeling great about themselves as they have one more on the road, which if you can win that one, then you're really in the driver's seat. Then you go back home with a chance to do what you did last year and win the series before it even goes back to Atlanta.
Now, I'll say it again. The fighting Phillies are the most dangerous team in the postseason.
Ooh.
Yep. I said it after the wild card series. You corrected me, and you said, coming out of the wild card. I said, no, I mean it. I think they're the most dangerous team in the postseason. And Atlanta fans were not happy about that today. And we saw that especially after the catcher's interference call, and they started throwing trash onto the field. My guess was what? It was a trash call, so they were just throwing trash on the field?
The whole catcher's interference situation was wild because I guess the conversation that ends up coming from it and what I was thinking as I was watching this game, because catcher's interference is a reviewable situation, right? So you go to review the call and all the camera angles you see, at least at first, and what everybody in the stadium was seeing was, oh my God, wait a second. Now, just to clarify, bases were loaded, 2-0 ball game. Phillies, JT Realmuto's at the plate, Sean Murphy, the catcher, obviously, and the umpire called catcher's interference. So JT Realmuto goes to first base, the run comes in to score, they go to review it, and it looks like, oh, wait a second, it actually never touched, blah, blah, blah. But if you were watching, you can clearly tell Realmuto knew it immediately. Sean Murphy knew it immediately. So the question in my and fans ended up throwing trash on the field. That's ridiculous. I hate that.
Well, it's dangerous
I hate that that's
too.
a thing to do.
It's dangerous. It's inconsiderate. It's bad sportsmanship.
Well,
altogether.
Right. That's ridiculous that that's even a thing that happened. But the thought that came into my head was, and this is just a general conversation about review. Let me present this to you, Alex.
Okay.
This situation, a lot of the angles you saw, like if you, it looked like there was no catcher interference. But if you watch it live, Sean Murphy clearly reacted that he knew it was catcher's interference.
Yeah.
JT Realmuto knew it was catcher's interference. So what I wonder is, if you're a replay and you see these and it's like, well, actually, I don't think it touched.
Well, because there has to be the reasonable.
But let's say that there, okay, I agree. But there kind of was reasonable when you look at it of, okay, well, maybe it didn't touch.
It?
Yeah, but then you see the reaction. Could you actually not overturn a call on the field because you see the reaction from the players? I think that's what happened. But it was catcher's interference. Sean Murphy said after the game, like, I didn't feel it, I could hear it.
Yeah.
And everybody heard it involved, and that's why there was catcher's interference.
And like slow-mo, we even watched the video a couple times over and over again. You can tell it was extremely, like, it was so minuscule. It was very tight, it was very close, but I mean, the dead giveaway were the reactions.
Yeah.
The players involved knew that it happened, and when you have that reactive, like throwing the glove down, like hitting the ground like that, you clearly catcher's interference and a run came in to score.
I just envision people sitting in the replay center like, well, look at that reaction. Yeah, just stick with it.
Yeah.
But the main takeaway, stop throwing shit on the field. Why are we doing that?
Don't do that.
Stop that.
That's not cool.